welcome to this lunchtime Women in the Law seminar. It's all about being a magistrate. I'm delighted we've got Trish who's finally joined us. Thank you for tuning in and having your lunch with us. Trish, I'm going to hand over to you.
Hello. I've been asked by Sally this afternoon to talk about my appointment as a magistrate and how you can become a magistrate. So a little bit about me. My name is Tricia Peters and I was appointed 29 years ago. I have no legal qualifications. I joined as a magistrate in Warrington in the county of Cheshire, and I was on that local bench up until we changed the format for benches, and we're now part of a whole Cheshire bench. So I can sit anywhere in Cheshire, and in my family work I sit in Liverpool. So you want to challenge, well, become a magistrate. Cheshire and Greater Manchester Advisory Committee regularly recruit magistrates for the adult criminal courts, and you also stand alone on the family courts. So who can apply? Applicants have to be aged between 18 and 65. Magistrates sit until 70, but they aren't usually appointed after the age of 65. So I'm saying 18 to 65. They have to be of good character. No formal qualifications are needed. However, for both courts, you cannot apply if you work in the small number of jobs where there could be a conflict of interest. So if you're interested, what do you do next? It's a requirement to have observed a court sitting for the court you're applying for before ending your application. So for the criminal courts, we have a public gallery where viewing is allowed. It's best to check with your local court that they're open and what's going on that day. And on the actual day, I would recommend talking to the ushers of the court and asking them what's going on and which is the most useful court for that day for you to sit in, because there might be several courts running. If you are looking to apply as a family-only magistrate, which is now something that we actually do very recently, then family magistrates courts are not open to the public. So the best you can do is watch a video. And there are some available online that you can have a look at through the government website. So do have a look at that. That's the only way you can do that at the moment. Family magistrates are advised by family legal court advisors, the Children's Family and Family Court Advisory Service called CAFCAS, and the Child's Guardian. So these are the people that we listen to when we're dealing with a family issue. So you don't need a detailed knowledge of the law for either role, but you must be able to demonstrate at interview six key qualities that are actually on the application form. So what's the commitment? What do you have to do? Well, minimum sittings are 13 full days a year, plus 3 days mandatory training in your first year. And each year there will be some training, ongoing training, because things change and magistrates have to be updated. But there's also training that we can do online. Average sittings for those able to, and justices are often required to sit in more than one location, can be much higher than that. But there are guidelines to how many sittings you need to do. We're looking for people to commit for 5 years. The training involved and the time involved and the mentors, the magistrates run the benches, so they will provide the mentors and the appraisals and the time taken there. So 5 years is really a good time limit to look at. But of course you can stay on the bench. You can stay on the bench until you're 70 and retire then. If you apply for the criminal courts as a magistrate, you can then apply to become a family magistrate or a youth magistrate. You don't sit on both benches. So youth magistrates deal really with youth cases, and the family, of course, with the family. But as I said before, we do actually recruit now for standalone family positions, so that you can actually just sit in the family court, which is very different than sitting in the criminal courts. And of course, I mentioned there is a YouTube video that you can watch and get some flavour to what happens in the family courts. So, will you get paid? No, justices are not paid. This is public service, but you will get expenses. So any travelling that you have to do will be paid for, and subsistence. So what do we do? In the criminal court, you remember I said that magistrates don't have to have any legal qualifications. So during cases where we're advised by a legal advisor, in general, we sit on a bench of 3, and a group of magistrates is a bench. So we sit on 3, although we can sit on 2 if we have to. And every criminal case in this country starts off in the magistrates' court. So it might be a very simple hearing if it's an indictable case, just to adjourn it to go on to the Crown Court. So youth work is slightly different than it used to be. The police try to intervene as much as possible to keep children out of the courts. So, but eventually it'll go along the same lines. So the typical kind of cases that we deal with are motoring, theft, alcohol and drug related crimes, bail applications, and local authority and private prosecutions. So all those come under our remit. Family court deal with a variety of cases relating to children, child protection, family breakdown, and related issues. Are all directly involved with decisions to keep children safe and protect them from harm. They are part of a team which aims to create family environments and resolve family disputes in a way that allow children to thrive and hopefully achieve their full potential. So, what do you do now? How do you apply? Well, there are links online. Look at the government website, how to become a magistrate. I mentioned earlier there are 1 or 2 exceptions, and they should be on there. But for instance, if you were a solicitor and your firm regularly appeared in court defending on the criminal side, then it wouldn't really be advised to apply to that jurisdiction. So go outside that jurisdiction and go to another one. I'd say apply, and then you'll find out whether there is a conflict there anyway, but as long as that's talked about at the time, that is absolutely fine. So, want a challenge? Become a magistrate. Thank you for listening.
Really brilliant.
Thank you.
And I think, short and to the point. So thank you all. It's really nice to meet you. Come to some more. Let us know how or where you found us. It's really good. And I think the work we're doing is brilliant. And thank you so much, Tricia, for giving up your time.